Welcome back. We're it's first stream in a while, but we've got SpaceX is launching Starship again today. Flight 8. Can you believe that? Like that's wild to me. That's absolutely wild. Catch 3 maybe. We'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Bless up, bless up. Um, I'm gonna flip over to the stream in just a little while here, but uh, yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got a monster for it. I got my coffee. You know, it's gonna be a good stream. I'm just gonna double check my audio really quick before I flip on over to the. I had some issues before I started up, so I'll do a little checkerino here. Hope y'all have been well. I have not been. We've gained quite a few subscribers since I last streamed, so thank you everybody. Thanks to all the new folks. Appreciate y'all. All of you are awesome. So, you know, just you being here is great. I don't know what else to say. It's like mind-boggling and awesome that people watch my content. So I appreciate every single one of you. Do do do. All right. We still have 33 minutes to launch here, so I have a little bit of time to troubleshoot. Or 30 minutes to launch. It's going to go pretty quick, though, when it does. I don't think we're live on YouTube. I think things are being wacky, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'll fix it if I'm not wrong. Oh, no, we're good. It says we're good. Okay. It just had not set it to public. That's all good. We have got it sorted out now. Do, do, do. No. Okay. All right. Let's get over to the action.
Vehicles pushing down.
I don't know if that's SpaceX might be trying to kill people with their the music, bro. Fucking gotta be careful with that. Hey, holy shit, dude. Elon's loading the rifle. He's like, "Get over here, boy!" Everybody always asks SpaceX, but nobody ever asks Space Y. You know what I'm saying? Flight 7 was hype, dude. I was, even though it exploded, still it was pretty nice. It wasn't outside of the debris field, and it was a harmonic resonance. I mean, that was obvious. The steel wiggling like that, dude. Like holy shit. Obviously, it was not okay. No bueno. No. We'll wait for their replay with their music to end here. Well, maybe it's fine, you know? We can always risk it for the biscuit, you know what I'm saying? Now that's what I'm talking about. That's the good shit right there. Like a glove. We're going to Mars, guys. It's happening. Holy fuck.
Booster landing work shut down.
Hopefully we'll get to see that again today.
Mechazilla has caught the booster.
Fingers crossed. thanks to SpaceX and everybody. There's a ton of other people you can go watch. I have a bunch of links in my YouTube video below. You can go watch like fuck. I'm not gonna try naming everybody. That is not gonna work. But yeah,
Oh
there's a lot
man,
of people that
seeing
stream, and
that
obviously
recap,
SpaceX has their stream. You can
my
go watch that on
hands
X or
got
whatever.
sweaty again in
That's what I'm watching
excitement
here.
watching that, and in anticipation knowing that
Oh,
we're gonna
I'm very
hopefully
excited,
get to
guys.
experience
I
booster
won't
catch
name them
again.
all, Chris. I
know seeing
refuse.
my first booster catch, I'll never
You're gonna have
forget.
to kindly go
Nothing
fuck
like it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing on the planet.
Now,
Here we
using
go.
the data from Flight
Oh,
7,
we'll wait. I
we've
don't
made some
want to
key
crack the
improvements
monster too.
under the
Well,
hood
maybe
for
no. We'll
today.
crack it. We'll crack
Flight
it.
7 taught us a couple of important
There we are.
things
Get
that
that
changed
fucking.
some of our pre-flight testing to help us investigate more. First, we saw a harmonic response several times stronger in flight than we saw in testing.
And harmonic response, in this case, it's essentially vibrations that we're seeing
the
go
ship
through the
vibrated itself
structure.
to death.
Rocket engines, as you can imagine, create an incredible amount of noise
As
and
one does.
vibration, which then passes through every component of that rocket.
It lit a fire too.
And
There was
on
a
Flight
fire
7, we
that
saw
got
those
out of
vibrations
control, and that
happen into a
fire
very
exploded.
specific
So
frequency,
boom, boom.
and they were placing some
boom,
extra
boom,
stress
go.
on that hardware in
That was
Starship's
Flight 7 though.
propulsion system. This is most likely what led to
This is
propellant
booster
leaks that we
15 and
saw
ship
that eventually
34.
cascaded into fires and ultimately ended with loss of contact with the
This is
ship.
gonna be great.
As part of our investigation, our team at Starbase took this flight's ship through
How
a
you doing, Chris?
60-second static fire on the Starship test stand, which is 10 times longer than any previous static fire. During this test, we cycled through multiple
Yeah, I
throttle
hate to
levels.
tell you,
In
you're
fact,
gonna be
can
waiting
see that
forever.
on your screen now. We cycled through multiple throttle levels on the engines to recreate different conditions seen within the propulsion system during flight.
I'm doing pretty
And
well.
we tested some hardware changes on fuel feed lines to the Raptor vacuum engines.
I went
This
on a
gave
couple
us
walks
just
today.
the extra data that we needed to eventually implement
Got a
new
good amount
hardware
of snow,
that's
actually. I
installed
was
in those
surprised.
fuel feed lines for the RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines. Also tweaked a couple of other things like the temperature of the propellant as we're feeding it to the engines. Also the throttle
that flame
level that we
trench.
set for those engines
Look
during
at that,
ascent.
dude.
Uh,
Look at that
having the
monster.
ability to do a 60-second
Look at it do its
static fire,
thing.
just one of the ways we're trying to expand our test capabilities here at Starbase. You want to
Oh,
test like you fly as much as possible. That just helps us
I don't wanna
iterate
block
even
people's
faster.
faces.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
mean.
The fuel feed lines to the Raptor vacuum engines, which are unique to this upgraded version of
Although
ship,
you could just
look
go watch
like
their
large
stream.
straws
You know, you
running
don't have
through
to
the
watch me.
oxygen
That's
tank.
true.
Today's vehicle has one of the hardware configurations we tested in that extended
nothing like
static
swapping
fire
between a-
because it showed it was able to minimize the harmonic response
drinking a
and
sweet
lower
drink.
its amplitude or strength.
We also took another look at where those fires broke out, specifically in what we call the attic. That's enough
The attic
pressurized
fires,
space between
damn.
just the bottom of the ship.
They always get you when you least
and
expect
the
it.
top of those engine heat shields. Fires in that space resulted
This
in
is
a
a
loss
drone.
of vehicle back on Flight 2 and also on Flight 7. So we took some
sick
steps
footage.
to make it more resilient to leaks in the future.
Look at that
To do
tank
that, we
farm
added
just
a pretty
spewing.
hefty purge system. It's going to use gaseous nitrogen. It's pretty similar to the
fumes.
CO2
Well, they're
carbon
not fumes,
dioxide
they're
system we use on
It's just
booster.
condensation.
It essentially just floods the zone with an inert gas to prevent a fire from ever starting. And then in addition to this, we increased the attic's natural fire defense just by
I
adding
fucking
some additional
love
vent holes.
how
That helps to keep the attic
mystical
pressure
it
as
looks.
close to just
It
vacuum
just looks like
as
a living,
humanly
breathing
possible
thing.
as Starship flies into space.
And for the next generation of ship,
Oh, that's
we're
right. I
running
was
the
gonna check
algorithm.
my-
We're going to try and do
That's so
the
funny,
next
dude.
best possible thing and delete some of the unnecessary space. So that ship will be using Raptor 3 engines, which will let us reduce the attic volume and eliminate the majority of joints that can leak into the space. In the end, what you're seeing take place with these changes is the core of our test program. We fly hardware all together in a real-world environment. We learn from the data.
Alright,
We
we're good.
make upgrades, and then we fly again.
We're good,
Ultimately,
Chief.
we fly to learn, and we're learning a lot.
That's right.
This is gonna
Now,
be a good-
for today's flight test, we're going to be
good flight
attempting to
test.
do everything we didn't get to do on Flight 7. We're still looking to get
Mike's a little
our
bit
first
quiet.
re-entry
It's probably
with
just
this
because I'm
upgraded
being a little
version
bit
of
quiet.
ship.
But
Also, intentionally
start
trying
yelling
to stress
as
it
we
to
get
gather
closer to
real-world
launch.
data on just where the vehicle's
as the T minus
boundaries
goes
are.
down, the
So don't be surprised
the
if it's
shot
not a
volume
smooth
goes up.
flight down to a landing for ship today. As always, it's going to start with liftoff.
But it's peaking in the
The
regime that I want it to
33
be right now.
Raptor
So.
engines on super heavy igniting, lifting both it and Starship
Sorry
into
for any
its
squeaking
ascent,
as
and
well.
it's
I'm
going
gonna
to
be an
power us
asshole
all
like
the
that
way
and drink my
until
coffee
hot stage.
with my stainless steel
Yeah,
mug.
those engines on the ship will
Steel,
ignite
just like
while
Starship.
the ship
Oh
is
my
still
God, I spilled
attached
coffee.
to the booster. This will
No.
create that
Whatever.
stage separation that we see there. Second stage
Dude,
will
fighting.
continue to go on its way. The booster will make a flip and come
Microphone
back here
more.
to the launch tower just behind Dan and I for hopefully hopefully what we will see the 3rd ever booster catch.
Catch number
Meanwhile,
3.
ship continues its ascent, gets into
You
its
guys think it's gonna
suborbital
happen?
place in space. We're going to have a test satellite deploy, pew pew, Starlink's firing
That's
out.
fine.
And then we're also going to do a Raptor relight,
Countdown
relighting one of those
hold,
sea-level engines
FPS1 is
before we
calling a
get to
hold
ship
while they
re-entry.
troubleshoot by the state machine.
And
Do not.
Being a pirate is a right to thing. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Appreciate it. 10 months in a row. Hell yeah.
And if some
That's,
comms go
you're
out, we
paying
heard
for
that
the
an
launch to go
operator
well.
hold got
That's what
in,
you're
so
doing.
they are troubleshooting
It's,
one issue as we continue to move through prop load. We'll get some more details on what caused
It's like
the
when you
hold,
pay for the Fortnite
and
wins.
if we start to reset to a new T0. We are still loading prop on the vehicle, so
Slide
essentially
up here a
putting
little
that
bit.
hold in means that
I'll move
if
around the
we
camera a little
get
bit,
through
even though it's
everything
really
and we
annoying
hit
for
that
me cutting shorts.
40-second mark, we'll
But
hold there
fuck
and
it.
wait to clear the issue.
Fuck
if
it,
we
we'll do it
haven't cleared
live.
at some point in
You
the
know what
next
I'm
20
saying?
minutes.
Yeah, for those that are unfamiliar, that T
That
minus
is a
40
hell.
second period.
Seeing the 2
is
towers
an
there is
opportunity
just
to
like, that's nuts,
troubleshoot,
guys. Like
unlike
I
our
don't know what to
Falcon
tell
timeline.
you.
So we
That's
do have
nuts.
a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Continuing
Pad
on
A and
with
B.
today's plan,
What? You know?
that ship will be making a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean, as we have seen before. We are launching at 5:45 p.m. Today. This evening launch will allow us to have daytime views
breathing.
of the ship as it makes its splashdown. So
Yeah,
good news.
It's a lot on ship's plate, but we're still hyper-focused on finding all of those
Hyper-focused,
real-world
and it's going
limits
to be
of
hypersonic.
Starship.
Oh, yeah.
We
There's
wanna
a
be
real
able to
hypersonic
prepare
missile.
to return
Not
ship
some
to
bullshit.
launch site
You know
and
what I
catch
mean?
it. A lot
Fucking
of these recent upgrades
wild, dude.
are
This
just
is a real
made to
hypersonic
enable
missile.
that to actually happen.
Flight 7 premiered
It just
a
also
huge
happens to
block
be a
of
human-capable
upgrades
spacecraft.
to the
Or
upper
that is the
stage
intent.
to add
The
more
intent will be to
capability
make it a
to Starship.
human-capable spacecraft.
And with Flight 8 today, we're hoping to get through a full flight. Starting us off, the forward flaps got a redesign.
Ooh.
They shrunk in size and shifted toward the top of the vehicle and away from the heat shield. And that will significantly reduce their exposure to re-entry heating. Also, by making Starship 2 meters taller, we added about 25% more propellant volume, along with propulsion upgrades such as vacuum jacketing of the feed lines, new fuel feed line system for Raptor vacuum engines, and an improved propulsion avionics module.
Yeah, ship got a little bit taller. That extra prop's going to allow us to fly those longer missions. We're not planning on stretching it a whole lot more beyond this in future ones, but then, you know, once we're flying the next version a lot, it'll be going. Just like the previous flight, a lot of tiles have been purposely removed. As again, we're trying to stress test all of the vulnerable areas. Call this the missing tile test. Those tiles are removed in strategic locations all across the vehicle, including critical areas like those tanks.
Such a
and over
helpful
the flap
visual.
seals as we use this flight to just really push those boundaries. In addition to that, we have some metallic tiles again that are being tested, including one on the right of this animation that has some active cooling built in.
The vehicle's avionics also underwent a complete redesign with things like 4 upgraded Starlink terminals.
So we'll see some aluminum melting
Starlink,
off this thing, and we'll see if that
RF
ablative
you can see that location there on
those
your screen.
are the aluminum
and on
melting
the
off
sides
is
of
the
the
ablative.
vehicle,
We'll see if
non-structural
the
versions of the ship's
work.
catch fittings are installed to test the thermal performance, along with a smoothed and tapered edge on one section of the tile line to address hot spots that we observed during Flight 6.
And
pray for rocket
more,
nerds.
we're back at
pray for all the
some
rocket
radar
nerds.
sensors on those tower
it's going to be a
arms.
fucking wild.
We did that last flight.
Wild 20 minutes, guys.
27
minutes, and that booster's going to be back on the pad.
To measure the distance between the arms and the vehicle. Catching the ship's going to be
reusable rockets
are
wild.
Catching the booster, it does that flip right before, so your antennas are going to rapidly reorient. And so just having any extra sensors on the ground side, you're adding extra layers of control while the ship and tower talk to each other for a catch.
In another first, Starship will deploy 4 Starlink simulators. They are similar in size to our next-generation Starlink satellites. With unparalleled payload capacity and full reusability, Starship will be able to deploy our more advanced V3 Starlink satellites, which will revolutionize global connectivity with Starlink
I think we get dummy
all
satellite
over again.
deploy.
Each one of those Starlink V3 launches on a Starship is going to add about 60 terabits of capacity to the Starlink network. To give you some context, that's about 20 times the capacity of what we're adding with every V2 mini launch in a Falcon 9 right now. That's going to help us expand Starlink's network, expand its impact in the coming years as we expand that access to high-speed internet all around the world, and eventually beyond. And the Starlink simulators that we're deploying today, they're going to be on the same suborbital trajectory as Starship. We expect them to demise as they enter in the atmosphere. And then Starship's trajectory itself looks very similar to our last several flights, splashdowns targeted in the Indian Ocean. And on top of all of that, we're also going to relight a single Raptor engine again while in space. We're just trying to get data on in-space Raptor burns. You're going to need those for deorbit burns when we're doing orbital missions, and eventually when we're doing missions way beyond Earth and we're on our way to Mars.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
so
they'll get that
like
relight
earlier,
done today.
Dan, there's a
That'll
lot
be
on
an interesting
Starship's plate
thing
for
to see.
today. But
See
one
if
of
Ship
the
34 can
hallmarks
pull it
of
off.
these Starship flights are the incredible views that we get throughout the flight, courtesy of Starlink. Every day, we're working to expand the Starlink network both on Earth and in space. For how all this connects us to the big mission, let's head back to Chris.
Thanks, Kate. And as fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables us to bring you a lot of those unprecedented views, both from space and on Earth. Personally, I love all those epic views of the plasma wrapping around Starship during re-entry. So thank you to our Starlink teams who enable all of those amazing views and the information we get. Now, in addition to the dozens of cameras on Starship itself, as you see on your screen here, we also have mobile Starlink camera kits deployed in the middle of the Indian Ocean, as you're seeing from a previous flight. Starlink also allows us to connect our aerial cinematography units on the ground at Starbase and at other strategic camera spots around Texas and the world. And that's all part of how it comes together to help us tell the incredible story of Starship, both on and off the planet. So thanks to Starlink, Starship is now capable of streaming more than 120 megabits per second of real-time, high-definition video and telemetry through every phase of flight. This not only provides those incredible views of re-entry for all of us, but also the invaluable engineering data to help our engineers rapidly iterate across all systems of Starship. And all of that streaming data today will be put to good use with the more than 30 cameras that are on the vehicle for today's flight.
That's a sick shot.
Now, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of whom have never had connectivity before. As of today, Starlink is serving more than 125 countries, territories, and other markets.
I really hope I get to go see a launch in person.
Customers and counting. But to meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX recently expanded its factory at Bastrop, Texas, and introduced Starlink Mini as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard kit.
I think it'd be an
Here's
amazing
our first ever look inside our brand new Bastrop facility.
There's like an interesting stat where like the odds of being struck by lightning in your lifetime are like about 1 in 15,000. And we make 15,000 dishes a day. If the odds of a defect happening are the same odds as being struck by lightning in your lifetime, it's almost guaranteed to happen one time in this factory a day. So you have to have like a very intense focus on quality.
Right now, we're in Bastrop, Texas at the Starlink manufacturing site, just about 20 miles east of downtown Austin. So the main function of this site is to produce our standard Starlink kits. Right now we're producing 15,000 a day straight out of the factory.
15,000 a day, guys. That's wild.
Raw aluminum comes in and we make those into the Starlink kits and then ship them right out to customers' homes.
When you manufacture the product that you design in-house, you're forced to live with the mistakes. What that means is that you're very motivated to quickly innovate and iterate such that you can rapidly improve the process. Our previous generation of the production line was maxed out in terms of capability, and the demand for Starlink has kept growing. So when we sat down to go design this factory and this version of our production line, we were really forcing ourselves to innovate.
Oh, this oddly satisfying footage, guys. I could watch a SpaceX factory like all day long, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
The future of this factory is great. We're in the middle right now of constructing
Just live stream
an expansion
that all
to our
day,
current
dude.
factory. We're going to add over 1 million square feet
million
of
square
manufacturing
feet?
space over
What
the course
the
of this
fuck?
year,
Holy
and allow us
shit,
to
dude,
continue to
that's so
insource
much.
more of our manufacturing processes so we can continue to go from raw material to completed kit
goodness
within
gracious.
the walls of this factory. I can't
future
understate
is
the
now.
hard work of all the employees at this factory who've made this a reality. Less than 2 years ago, this was an empty building with no employees. And over the last 20 months, we've built a factory from scratch. We've gone from producing 0 kits to over 70,000 a week. And we've gone from 0 employees to over 1,000.
That's wild, guys.
And it is incredible to see all of the tech in that facility that will help millions of people around the world the way they want to use it and the way that they need to use that technology.
I'm looking for my fucking
Definitely
monster,
a lot
and
of
I
good
got
things
lost,
to come
dude.
from our Bastrop facility.
Fucking Zorro moment.
And
Like,
while we're talking about the infrastructure that enables us to do all of these amazing things, you've probably seen some changes recently around Starbase.
10 minutes.
Coming online this year is the second tower at Starbase.
Oh, they're going to talk about the second tower. Hell
has
yeah.
redesigned
Fuck
chopsticks
yeah.
and is built to accommodate the next generation of Starship and Super Heavy. It will have a redesigned launch mount and flame diverter system built to be rapidly reusable and hardy enough to withstand hundreds of launches at a time.
Looking forward to when the first
now, over at the production site
launch
down
off
the
that
road, we're
tower
also
goes.
building a new
That'll be a
integration
sick,
and
sick
refurbishment
milestone.
facility called Gigabay. And Gigabay, as the name implies, will allow us to process more Starships at the same time over our current Megabays. But Gigabay isn't just for Texas.
We must make it
We're
larger!
also further expanding Starship operations into Florida, bringing production and launch capabilities to the Space Coast.
Yes, dude.
As Starship flight testing, development, and launch
and we're gonna get launches of
continues to pick up
Starship
pace
from the
at
Cape,
Starbase
dude.
in
Oh my
Texas,
god.
over
I
in
can't
Florida,
even.
we're
That's
building
gonna
a
be
Gigabay
fucking
as well.
awesome.
Gigabay will stand
Holy
380
shit, dude.
feet tall and will provide about 46.5
My face hurts
million
because I'm
cubic
smiling
feet
too
of
much.
interior
It's like
processing space
I can't
and about
I can't wipe this grin off my
815,000 square
face.
feet of workspace. Now,
I
as
love
environmental
this shit,
impact
dude.
statements continue for potential Starship launches and flights from both Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center and Launch Complex 37 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, we plan to complete the Starship launch pad at Pad 39A this year. And pending the completion of environmental review, SpaceX intends to conduct the first Starship launch from Florida from Launch Pad 39A later this year. Now, we're also interested in enabling Starship launches from
2025 Florida
and as
launches.
part of this process,
please?
SpaceX has
yes?
been given a limited right of entry for
my
Pad
God.
37 to conduct further due diligence at the site in order to move forward with the environmental impact study that's being led by the Department of the Air Force.
Mad excited.
Ultimately, we will have production, integration, refurbishment, and launch facilities in both Florida and Texas, driving the needed flight rate for Starship to help make humanity a multiplanetary civilization. And Kate, I could talk about this.
And then we'll build like 50
literally
space
hours
elevators.
on
It'll be
end,
great.
But we've
Space
got a
elevator
Starship
for every
to launch
city in
today,
North
so
America.
how are things
Easy peasy.
looking 11 minutes before launch here?
You just need
Yeah,
36,000
cool
kilometers of
we're,
graphene.
Getting close to go time.
Once you build like
quick
30
update on
O'Neill
range
cylinders,
and
that's pretty
weather.
easy.
For the
pretty
range,
easy.
the area around the pad has been well cleared. This includes the land, air, and sea space. So all is clear on the range front. That also applies to over in the Indian Ocean. The sea and airspace has been cleared as well for
full.
ships re-entry. Once again, we are making a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So just the buoy cams are out there, and we'll get some great videos once again. Weather, we have a 35% chance of violating the weather the weather constraints for launch
That's
today.
terrifying.
So it's not
but
perfect.
It'll be okay.
It's not bad.
It's looking pretty good right
not
now.
So awesome. We can see the tower here.
The wind
We're
doesn't look
2
too
miles
bad.
away from the launch pad, but visibility around the greater area.
And
might
the
be a
sun
little
is clearing
challenging.
some of that fog.
In terms of the vehicle itself, so right now you
It's
can
not
see
going to
we're
be a
almost
perfect
done
launch
loading
in
prop
terms
on
of
ship,
visibility,
almost done on
like
booster.
like
If you
Flight
tuned
5
in
and
heard earlier, we did hear
Flight
talk about
7
a flight
were.
controller hold going in. So
But-
just a reminder, all that means is
And
we
Flight
wouldn't be able
6
to
even was
pass
pretty
that
good.
T-minus 40-second mark. They're literally
We've been
talking
blessed.
about it
We've
right
been
now on the
absolutely
loop
blessed.
that
So
they
this
think
is
they've got the
I
problem figured
can't
out. It was
complain.
an
And we're
issue
going to
on
get
the
another
booster,
one. There'll be a
where
Flight
we
9.
think we will be clear by about the T-minus 2-minute mark, and we will be able
Holy
to move
fuck.
right through that T-minus 40, hopefully. So, prop load continuing. We're not holding or anything yet, and we're expecting that issue to clear before we get to that T-minus 40 mark. This morning, though, we did all of the usual checkouts, aligned the navigation systems, did all of our booster and ship tank purges, got them ready for prop load, chilled down the pad, which you can see all the cryo right
It's
now.
chilling.
Things are pretty
Look
chilly
at the
out
flaps. They're
there.
flapping.
Prop load's been going.
That's
we
sick.
just did a flap.
They're
check
flapping.
out. We also do a wiggle checkout
They're
on
wiggling.
the chopstick
Wiggle,
arms
wiggle.
as well. We are going to continue loading prop for about another 6 minutes. We're going to close ship at about 3 minutes, 20 seconds before launch. Booster just about 30 seconds later.
We're getting there, guys. We're
We've had
getting
at least
close.
one issue that we're still working in the background, expecting that to clear before we hit that kind of that hold gate at T-minus 40 seconds and looking good.
Yeah, so bottom line, things are looking good for liftoff here in just under 9 minutes. We're now at, looks like 8 minutes and 49
The nerves are
seconds.
hitting.
So
The launch
everything's looking
nerves, the
green
pre-launch
so
nerves.
Yeah. Before we get any closer to
rubbing my
liftoff,
palms.
I need to shamelessly plug Starbase. I'm one of just a couple thousand people who work here. Soon to be the newest city in Texas at Starbase, and we're the largest employer in the area. We're always hiring, so visit spacex.com/careers, see all the openings. It's where the future's being built, and it's a future we can all be pretty excited about. So yeah, come work here. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's all rock.
All right, so we're coming up to 8 minutes until liftoff. As we mentioned before,
I already have
flight
2 jobs. I don't
controllers
need
are
another.
already
Not
on
yet.
console. They're located in our Ad Astra Launch Control Center, about 6 miles away from the pad. But they will soon be moving here with us to Star Factory. So a lot of excitement around that, certainly growing.
Oh, it's a bird.
Yeah, and again,
knows what's
general
good.
status check. We're continuing to progress. We're under 8 minutes away. We're tracking an issue with booster. We're expecting that to clear. Still looking good for launch. Speaking of booster, let's talk about catching one.
Absolutely.
The tower's 2 giant robotic arms that lift and stack Starship on a Super Heavy for final integration ahead of flight. We also use those to catch. It means we don't have any landing legs on the booster. Makes the booster lighter. Means we can throw more payload into space.
Exactly.
My heart is
Following
just like,
liftoff, and
I am
after
prepared.
the 2 stages separate in flight, Super Heavy will return to the launch site, the same exact launch site that it lifted off from, reignite its engines to slow the vehicle down. Here we see playback from a previous
wild. The
booster catch. I
reverberations
believe
there.
that was our first booster catch. The vehicle will slow down, tower arms will come out and catch the booster.
And just like the last few times, literally thousands of different vehicle pad criteria have to be met before we bring a booster back and try to catch it. We need healthy systems on Super Heavy, on the launch tower, and we need that final manual command from the mission's flight director for the day. If that command isn't sent before we finish the boost back burn, or if any of those automated health checks kick us out, the booster defaults to a trajectory, takes it to a landing burn, and a soft splashdown.
Really like the inclusion of drone footage.
We have said it multiple times before, but it still holds true today. We accept no compromises when it comes to ensuring the safety of the public and our team, and the return will only take place if the conditions are right, and there are many of them. So there's a chance that we may not get to catch the booster today.
Yeah, and one aspect to the return
it'll
catch
get
of that
caught,
booster
trust me.
is the audible sonic
Catch
boom
3
in the area around the return
smelling it.
location. That happens as the booster slowing down.
I can feel it in my
supersonic
bones.
Speeds. It's similar to sonic booms that were heard during the return and landing of NASA's space shuttle for anyone that was in Florida for those.
Sonic booms like these are unique to vehicles returning from space and are one of the hallmarks of reusable systems like our Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy vehicles. The general impact to those in the surrounding area of a sonic boom is basically a brief thunder-like noise. And I've heard sonic booms before, but I got to experience my first in-person Starship sonic boom on Flight 7, and I can confirm it's pretty fun to experience.
Oh, yeah, we get to hear it. The sound of the atmosphere, just I love it. Drums of liberation, dude. That's what that is. Holy fuck. It never gets old. That shit'll never get old. Holy fuck, dude. Oh.
And as someone who has heard sonic booms many times in Florida, they are definitely a hallmark, and what a way to announce a returning space vehicle's return for reuse. Now, here in California, as you can imagine, the excitement is growing here. The crowd is growing. Kate mentioned our flight controllers in Ad Astra in Texas. Here in Hawthorne, we also have controllers on console in Mission Control, helping those teams in Texas monitor Starship's various systems, including the avionics and those 39 Raptor engines that were built right here in Hawthorne. Now, with 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go, Dan and Kate, how are we looking for a launch today?
So we are still looking good. We're just about fully topped out on propellant on both vehicles. The closeout's going to be coming up in about a minute on ship, and then about 30 seconds later on the booster. We are still hearing chatter in the background about the booster issue that we're tracking. We may still be able to pass the hold, but if we need to hold at T-minus 40 seconds, we
They do have room to hold, and
it
it is an hour-long window for launch. So if they have to work the issue for like 20 minutes, they can.
Before we get the go.
But hopefully, we'll
once we're
just
fully
get it
loaded
go
on
right
prop,
through,
which
and
is
they'll be
coming
good
up
to
soon,
go.
we've got just shy of 11 million
Because weather's good,
pounds
and
of
weather I think is
liquid
the
oxygen,
scariest
liquid
thing
methane
today
on
for
both
a
of those
stop.
stages.
Although I guess
and then once
something
we're done, we're
unforeseen
going to
could
see
happen,
that we're going to hear the ground lines do what's called pushback. So
That
all of that
checklist has gotta be
propellant
fucking
gets
long.
pushed out of those lines back to the tanks, clearing the pad for launch.
Now, in the next few minutes, the guidance system will perform a final alignment. The automated flight safety system will be armed, and thrust vector control, or TVC, checkouts will be performed. As we said, if we do need to hold, it would come at that T-minus 40-second mark. That is the point in the countdown where we can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization, or if we need to continue to work through that issue. So once we pass through that T-minus 40-second mark, a number of things are going to happen quite quickly.
That's so much
the ground
liquid
spin
propellant,
and
dude.
ignition systems come up to flight pressure. The ship's going to go on to internal power. And after that, the quick disconnect,
we're in the business end now.
arm lockout is removed in preparation
Another
for
business end, flight 8.
after T0. And as we once we do pass that T-minus 40 seconds, we still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to that T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, and if we can proceed again to T0. But that's only in certain situations.
All right, so we're just about 2.5 minutes away. We do have a couple of things like if we hit T-minus 10 seconds and you see water start flowing out of the deflector, that is a reason for us to scrub for the day. Is that's once it's turned on, it doesn't turn off, and then we'll have to refill the tanks on both the water farm and the prop farm.
No, he
Our
said the
team's
word.
gotten really, really good at refilling stuff really quick, so we can reposition for about a 24-hour recycle if we need to.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of
we're
things,
coming up. We're coming up just under 2 minutes away. Now hearing we might hold at that T-minus 40-second mark while they still talk through a couple of troubleshooting steps. But again, if we hold there, we can hold there for several minutes, even with all prop fully loaded on the vehicle, before we can release the hold and decide to move forward.
This is going to be, the tension is going to start to build now. Is it going? Is it not going? What's happening, you know?
All right, less than a minute and a half away.
There's going to be a billion doomers out there just like
the clock,
fucking dying right now. Like,
no! 40. We may hold there. It's not a rocket launch unless you're talking nonstop in the background until right before you lift off.
Yeah, that's true. What he just said there is the truest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Have an opportunity to hold there for
I always
minutes,
like, I'm going to be quiet. No, I
which is
can't be
unique to
fucking
Starship.
quiet, dude.
We
Holy
don't have
shit.
this ability on Falcon.
I'm losing my mind. I'm like tweaking right now. This is
away.
wild. These
we are going to hold
launches are so
40,
exciting,
so look
dude.
for the clock to pause when we hit T-minus 40 as they finish troubleshooting, and then we'll let you know as soon as we start hearing more. And if that clock's when that clock's gonna start,
we can relax for a few minutes, guys.
Holding at T-minus 40.
Hold your breath.
In the background, still troubleshooting. We can hang out here for a couple of minutes.
Maybe don't hold your breath. It's gonna be a couple minutes.
All right, and it sounds like we cleared the issue on the booster. We're now holding for a late breaking issue with ship, so they're talking through that right now.
Dan, you mentioned things that we've gotten really good at. It's incredible to think that we just stacked this vehicle earlier this morning, and we're already, through prop load. Prop load's pretty much complete and ready to go. It's a very slimmed down timeline.
This by far will be our fastest. We stacked the thing for the first time ever with these vehicles less than 24 hours ago. We really want to get to a point where we can, fly rapidly, fly as quickly as possible.
Rapid reusability.
And so this is definitely a case to try and push that forward. No wet dress or anything like that with these vehicles.
Absolutely. And should this booster come back for a successful landing, you were talking about the rapid part of rapid reusability. This booster may fly on a future Starship flight if we're able to catch it and
I'm very much looking
bring it
forward
back
to
online.
a reuse of a booster.
So
I
for
think
those of
booster
you that have
14 is
just
going to get
recently joined
reused
us,
on
we have
Flight
paused at
9.
T-minus 40 seconds
A good chance of that.
just
So
to
that'll be fun to look out for.
assess and work through a problem that
Wild,
popped
dude.
up in the countdown, and we are holding here as the teams troubleshoot it. We believe that we have put in a solution and we will be able to proceed, but we have some chatter on some nets indicating that we're just holding here for a few more seconds. Now, this is a great opportunity for the
Excuse
teams.
me.
This is unique
The
on
monster is
Starship.
just,
We don't
it's
have this
growling
ability
out of my
on
stomach,
Falcon
you know?
to hold here, partially because there's just so much propellant that it takes longer as a whole for it to cool down with that amount of volume that we have compared to the Falcon vehicle.
It is a lot of propellant.
But this T-minus 40
like
second
a fuck
hold
ton of propellant.
is pretty cool because basically
metric fuck
everything
ton.
that would have been a scrub is actually just an opportunity to hold here and work through it.
Shit.
Or I should say many things, not everything. Where, like I said, we're working through an issue now, but we can also pause here for final checkouts or completion of pressurization to get up to flight levels, that kind of thing. So it's a nice feature to allow the team to wait for final checkouts.
Yeah, it's a very
or,
versatile vehicle, to be
final
honest with you.
levels
To
or
be
engine
able to
health
do
and
that,
kind of
it's
stuff.
pretty impressive. But that's what it has to be in order to be rapidly reusable. In order to actually fulfill its mission, it obviously has to be able to do that. So, yeah, very sick. I love it. I love it. What a majestic machine. That is a majestic ass machine. Once it goes, it's gonna come back quick. 7 minutes after it goes, it'll be back on that pad, assuming all goes well. Say a prayer for Starship, you know? I'll hydrate with my monster. How's it going, Night Dog? I've been stretching my face all day. I can't get this smile off my face because the launch is too exciting for me. It's like deathly quiet right now. I'm terrified. You know, probably. It's like Monday too, so it's like it's probably Tuesday for you, if you should be sleeping. That's how a lot of people feel about watching this launch. We'll get some night ones eventually, and then I'll have to fucking wake up at like 2 in the morning.
We are still holding at this T-minus 40-second gate. We cleared an issue on the booster that we were working up until the hold, still working one on ship. And team still continuing to discuss in the background. We can still hold here for several more minutes. If we're not able to resolve the issue or find a workaround, then we would have to essentially scrub and stand down for the day. If that does happen, we can go as early as tomorrow, but that clearly depends on what work we might need to do to fix any issues. So just obviously stay tuned. But right now,
we're staying tuned.
Over 5 minutes into this hold today. We've got a couple more minutes that we can hold.
Couple more minutes
at T-minus 40 before we have to kick out. Essentially, looking at a lot of those propellant temperatures on both vehicles, you want those to stay in pretty specific ranges for engine startup and things like that. That's what generally drives how long we can hold at T-minus 40. So still hanging out. As soon as we hear an update on the ship, we will.
The deafening silence in between was not ideal. Hey, welcome, Illuminati. That's over on YouTube. Should be doing homework right now. This is basically homework. This is the most scientific thing you'll see in until the next launch. You get to watch it in action. 33 Raptor engines. Oh my God, they're going. They're clearing. They cleared it.
It is time to go for launch.
All right.
So
here we go.
30 seconds to go.
41 seconds, it looks like.
And we just heard a hold.
God.
So we kicked.
They held again?
Psych. No. So we did kick out back to the T-minus 40 hold.
Don't do that to me, Chief. That's fucked up. Ugh. Ugh. Elon, what the hell, man? Ain't no way indeed, dude. Ridiculous. Okay. I still think they're fine. They have a couple more minutes. They have at least like 3 or 4 more minutes they can hold it here. But come on, come on. This is the
Right, so as
the
we
nerves.
started counting back down, we did trip a few more holds automatically from the booster itself.
God damn it.
So
the booster's upset today. It's angry.
We are now going to hang out here again at T-minus 40. They've got a couple more troubleshooting steps that they can take. If we're able to get through that, we can start counting down again. If not, we could always offload and try again on either tomorrow or another day. But right now we're not done
I don't
for
like
the day
that.
yet.
I hate that.
I
don't hate it. I mean,
seconds.
tomorrow or Wednesday
And
is not a big deal. Like, I can do that too, but it's just like,
if we're going to
you
go
get
for
so
a launch
hyped up for the
today,
launch, and then they're like,
or if
oh,
we just try it again another day. So keep listening in, and we'll
This is the reality of rocket launches, though. We've been blessed so far with all the previous flights that they've just gone without a hitch. But they do have a little bit more time here, it sounds like, so fingers crossed. It's still pretty damn cool. You get to see that thing get loaded up, and then they'll detank it and recycle. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah, no, exactly. They don't want the vehicle to
Go.
Oh, we just heard the words go.
All right, and we did just hear the call. We are going to offload for today. So
No.
we had a couple holds trip as we started counting down from T-minus 40 again. And it's not something
no! We've got a scrub,
so
ladies and gentlemen. That's literally the worst.
Well, again another day. So
that's okay.
We're able to fully tank the vehicle.
It is what it is. They'll detank.
Just because we don't go today doesn't mean we're not going to go tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll go. They will go. It will happen.
We are going to start offloading all of that propellant on the booster and the ship. As we talked a little bit earlier, we can go as soon as 24 hours later. We won't know that for sure.
It's a deep tragedy. We were so close. We were so close, and yet so far.
Just keep an eye on all of our updates.
All right. Well.
So we were expecting could be about 24 hours.
The deep tragedy.
We will definitely let
24 hours. All right. Well, that is a bummer, but you know what? We got to hang out for a little bit today. I appreciate you for coming aboard, Illuminati. That's or I don't know if you want how your name you particularly want it pronounced, but I like that. It's got almost like a Lumamati, you know, but it's 80, you know. I like it. But yeah, thanks for popping by and following. I appreciate that. Appreciate you having you on board. And we will try to stream for it whenever they retool it for. Hopefully that'll be tomorrow, Tuesday. They said 24 hours. If it's Tuesday, I'm good to go, and probably Wednesday as well. Be good to go. But yeah. Well, yeah. Cheers. Peace out. Thanks for popping by. Thanks. I appreciate it. I basically react to rocket launches and do Fortnite, so that's my content. But I'm grateful to have you aboard, and we'll catch you around next time. And peace, love, happiness to everybody else. Thanks for popping by. Apologies on the scrub. Not my fault. Can't do nothing about it. But hey, you know what? It'll be a good one for next time. We do got a game again soon, Nighthawk. I've got 2 new jobs, so I'm a little bit busy trying to figure out how to juggle that and also with this as well. So, but we're gonna figure that out as well over the next little while. And yeah, so I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and peace, love, happiness again.